Good morning, everybody. Welcome back with K-Red. We're going to do a quick little drawing here today. It's kind of a gloomy, overcast day, so I figured I'd bring out this different paper. It's another book I got at Christmas time, Circular Grid Notebook by Koala Tools. Looked like a fun little pre-printed graph to practice and play on. Liked all the little lines. I don't know if you can see them, but it's got all the circles pre-drawn. It's got all the lines pre-done. So I thought it might be a fun and easy one to kind of just play and practice and try to get back into the swing of this. I've taken such a long kind of break from it. So when I sit down to work on something, I try to breathe a little bit, feel nice and slow with my breath, and then I try to decide exactly what the first mark is, what the first mark I want to do is. Decided to start with an 01 pen. I'm not sure if you can see that, but that's what I decided to start with. These are my favorite pens, but I do have a bunch of different ones. As we go through these, since I have taken a break, some of these have met the end of their use, and if so, then I'll just grab another one. I do have a brand new pack. I just want to use up the old ones first. And I kind of like these lines. So I'm going to breathe nice and slow. Try to steady my hand. Make sure I'm going to the same ring on the outside. It's easy to mess up. Oops, just like that. As you guys know, I always like my paper tilted. If I had my paper tilted, that probably wouldn't have happened, but that's okay. We'll just thicken the line and see where we end up from. So we're gonna make all these a little bit thicker too. I think because we're starting with a thicker line, since I made that little boo-boo, use up the old ones first. And I kind of like these lines. So I'm going to breathe nice and slow. Try to steady my hand. Make sure I'm going to the same ring on the outside. It's easy to mess up. Oops, just like that. As you guys know, I always like my paper tilted. If I had my paper tilted, that probably wouldn't have happened, but that's okay. We'll just thicken the line and see where we end up from. So we're gonna make all these a little bit thicker too. I think because we're starting with a thicker line, since I made that little boo-boo, we're going to switch over to an 8 to make it that much easier. And I'm going to remember to rotate my paper. And these are a little closer together than I probably would have liked, but we're going to go with it and see where we end up. Normal week, a little gloomy out. I normally in my center like to cover up all my ills by filling in a nice circle there. This paperwork actually gives me a decent circle, and this 8 is definitely running out. So I think what I'll do is go ahead and see what this 1 has for me. And not a 0 1, but a straight 1. And that way I can do the darker circle a little bit easier. One of the artists I watch online, when he does the up close stuff, will get out a magnifying glass so you can see it a little bit better. Getting of the age where sometimes that would help me, but I haven't quite gotten used to that yet. You can see on this one I'm a little off the line. It doesn't look quite right. Not sure any of those look quite right, but we're going to keep going. tell the first lines, I wasn't breathing, I wasn't going slow. Let's see if we can find another 8. Definitely did not like that one. Really don't want to open my pack yet, so let's go to 5 instead of 8. Let's see if we can save this drawing. Sometimes things happen right at the beginning. We don't like it, but we just keep going, breathing, slowing down, accepting. We can do that. Nice slow work week this week, thankfully. I needed that after the last few were so crazy. See all the places where I went too far. I can make do with that. If at the end I really still hate this, I'll just do it all black. Just cover it all up. Sometimes that's what I do. I just cover it all up. So how have you all been doing this week? Did you have a good week? Did you have a rough week? I'm seeing this, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but there's a little line here and there's a little line here. So I'm starting at the top, going to midway on that line, midway on that line, and then down to there with these little S marks. Midway, midway, and down. Midway, midway, and down. Nice and slow, nice and easy. Our mistakes are still bothering me. Sometimes our mistakes bother us for a while, don't they? That is real life right there. Dwelling on it doesn't help. Accepting that we did it. And moving on to try and do something better from it, right? Some of the biggest mistakes of our life can turn in to some of the most beautiful things if we acknowledge what we don't like and work to improve it. I definitely don't like that middle, but I like that next one better. So now we'll have to decide what we do next. We did that. I like that, okay? Take big breaths. Hold them. Let them out. Oops, that was too low. I have these little graph lines and I didn't make it up to it. That definitely looks different. Not so sure about that. Where should we go from here? If this was yours, where would you go? What would you add next? Don't completely hate it. Don't completely love it. So what if I start on this dot here? I circle up, over, and back to that line. And then what if I add a better curl to it? It's kind of fun. Now I gotta remember what I did. So I started in the middle. I circled up, Went all the way to the edge and came back to the same middle. And then I added the circle line there. All right, let's keep at it. From here, and the circle, go up, go down to the bottom, and end my circle. I breathe, I turn, I think, oops, did that one wrong. Should have just been a straight thing from here and then the circle over there. You know what's funny is just like I said, it was a slower week at work. Had a few things, family member health-wise going on, but all in all, it seemed like a better week. But then when I sit down and draw, I realize I'm having problems focusing, having problems maintaining a pattern. It gives me a second to realize that maybe I'm carrying more than I thought I was. So let's go ahead and pick a dot way up here. I'm going to add all my dots in now to give myself a help, so that hopefully I will maintain whatever pattern it is I'm going to end up doing. I really like this paper. I like the help this paper gives me. Make sure that's doing the same. I was thinking of doing it. I know everything's been so curly. To maybe do something pointed. So as I draw, I sit and reflect what's going on. How am I feeling? How are you physically feeling? Is that the right spot? No, see, that dot's one over. It should be. Sure enough, that dot's one over. And you could kind of see it where it's off center. So I'll go ahead and I'll put the dot where I wanted it. And I'll do this line here. And now those are all even. The curlicues are still off, but at least those are in the right spot. And now I know to the left of each one, I'm going to want a dot to do something with. Who knows what? But at least now they're all the same. I like that. It always makes me feel good when they're all the same. So I think I'm going to go back from my 5 now and go back to a 1. I like using different colored pens. The change in the thickness always makes me feel good. Hopefully I'm still in camera, wasn't even watching. I'm going to breathe. So I made the first video last week. This is video number 2. And it was fun. I enjoyed making it. I think it'll be interesting to see how making these feels and how I enjoy it or don't enjoy it. It'll be interesting to see how I feel about all of these mistakes being public, because this whole thing feels like a mistake right now. But often our mistakes are public. That is not unique. And it's okay. Mistakes are okay. So what should I do? What lines would you make? Maybe if there's ever anybody else watching these, we can pick some paper together. We can start with a basic circle line design, whatever, and then see where we all end up. That'd be kind of interesting. Now, why I don't want this to go all the way through, I'm not exactly sure. And I just blew it. I should have stopped right there. So I guess the circle will end up going all the way around. That's a shame. I kind of like the way that looked. So now's the time where I sit there and think, why am I so scatterbrained? Why am I not able to, even with the dots, put them all right? Maybe I'll just continue on in silence for a while and let my brain work, see what it needs. Kind of fun. I always love those shapes, these little whoops, arch things or whatever they are. They're definitely one of my favorite things to do. As you can see, I sometimes do them skinnier. They're definitely always one of my favorite things. We all always seem to have our own favorite. These I always feel like I should be able to get these to look right, but they almost never do, at least to me. I've seen other people do them. I like to watch other people, see what they do, learn from them, borrow from them. And theirs come out so much nicer than mine. I've never quite figured out what I'm doing wrong. I like to do practice sheets sometimes where I just do one shape over and over. I think that's a great way to learn. So maybe I'll see if I can pick a couple shapes I want to learn. Maybe on the next one we'll do some practice sheets. I'm feeling in the mood to do that. It's even less pressure on those. You're not trying to create anything at all. This will be an interesting one. It's kind of a shame because I really love this paper. Definitely will do another one on this paper where maybe my mind is a little freer. But I'm definitely not focusing well today. That was dangerous at all. Oh boy, where do you go to? Huh. Guess we'll do that. Oops. Goodness gracious, my oh my. Tough day. Kind of glad you guys get to see it. Now, some of you are saying every day is a tough day with my art. And you're right. My art is what it is. But even for me, today's is a little bit rougher and a little less, well, from the beginning. But that's all right. I don't mind. I still get the joy of putting one line on top of another, trying one thing from another, and seeing where we end up. And maybe we end up somewhere wonderful. Maybe not. Oh, I should turn my paper. See, I didn't turn my paper. Sometimes I just want to hurry through. Oh, it's a simple line. No. I think that's what this does good for me. Teaches me to slow down, be calm, take it one step at a time regardless. Do the same thing each time. Have the same rhythm. I've been breathing. Sometimes I find that when my lines are rough and it feels so disjointed. Sometimes life is rough and life is disjointed, but this paper's too. Sometimes if I can fill in little areas, add some depth into some of it, that it can help a lot. Ooh, I don't know if you can see a close up of that. I'll try to show you. Look at how bad those lines are. How they come. Is it in there? Yeah, there it is. How it comes way outside the lines. Way too fast for that type of line. That's all right. That's what I feel today. Yep, I don't hate that. Now what if I did a line straight down from here? And then should definitely have switched the thickness of my pen for that. You ever use dots as a shading? Sometimes I like it. Sometimes I fill it in. What do you think? Line straight down the middle. Little alternating arches. Shade dots on the bottom half. Can always go back and add more dots. I don't think I'm hating it. I don't think I'm loving anything on this one, but I don't think I'm hating it. Sometimes it makes it just a little too busy. Sometimes if you're dealing with pain or intrusive thoughts, sometimes having these monotonous over and over again little things can really help you be focused, help you be distracted. Your mind is very powerful, and focus and distractions can be quite invasive and abusive. So whether it's a video game, art, or cooking, sometimes cooking is a wonderful way to do it. Then you add a little charity onto it. Sometimes if I'm feeling my worst physical pain, mental pain, doing something for somebody else is the best way to quiet a mind. So make something, bake something, return a cart in a grocery store, call somebody, listen to somebody else, focus to somebody else. Can make all the difference. I don't think I'm going to do too much else on this one. I think this one's definitely going to go down as a scatterbrained attempt. I might continue off camera, playing with it some, where I can work on breathing a little bit more. I think this is definitely one that needs time and love. And sometimes I give it and say, okay, I'll spend enough time and love on this to make it look good. Sometimes, that's why I love these practice books. I just leave it kind of ugly, and I'm okay with that. If something in my life has to be ugly, I'm glad it's this exercise book, right? If any of you are hurting, I hope you find a way to help that pain ease out slowly. Kind of like my new Instapot, letting it automatically let the pressure out rather than forcing it with the force release, or heaven forbid, opening the lid when you shouldn't. Sometimes our life's like that too. I'm going to hope that each of you find something today that takes your mind off what it wants to be on and lets it just naturally release into something else. Hang in there. Watch a cooking channel where they're saying is better done than perfect. And I like that. I think of that sometimes. Sometimes it's better done than perfect. So, I'm off the page a little bit. So this isn't done. This isn't perfect. And like I said, I think I'm going to end the video here, since obviously my mind needs to work its own path out today. And then if anybody ever finds this video, I hope you share some of yours. Whether it's a picture of the banana bread you made, or it's the drawing you made, or it's a link to your video or to your song. Everybody needs a pressure valve. Everybody needs a friend. So that's it for today. I'm gonna sign off. What is it they say? Practice makes better. I don't know about perfect, but practice does make better. I think that'd be kind of fun. So, January, hang in there, be strong. See y'all later.